Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. We are in a different space today and it's very exciting because this video, the fact that we're in this space, means that my makeup kit video is finally here. I'm so excited. This has been a pretty highly requested video, not only from like aspiring makeup artists or even, you know, full-time makeup artists, but also from clients. Just kind of everybody is kind of curious as to what is in my kit, how I organize, what I'm doing. So I thought I would just sit down in my studio, that's where we are right now, my makeup studio. I would sit down, go through kind of everything that my kit is all about. I have been doing makeup for about 5 years now, so I feel like, even though that's not like a ton of time, like there's makeup artists obviously that have been in the industry for decades who probably could have a better video than mine, but I do feel like over the past 5 years I have been able to really define my kit. Is that the right word to use? Really, like, not perfect it, because I would never say that it's perfected, but I don't know what word to use, but I've just really been able to kind of fine tune it. I guess that's the word I could use. P.S. Don't mind my terrible looks today. This is not a video about me. This is a video about my makeup kit, so we don't have to worry about this thing that's going on right here. Also, I might still have some redness. I waxed my brows earlier and also did my brow henna, so yeah. So yeah, I have a list of kind of what I want to talk about. So I do just want to kind of start out by telling you how I came to having this specific kit, where I started, what I have now type of thing. I've had about at least 5 kits at this point. When I say kits, I'm talking about like the physical, how do I explain this? Like the kit, like the actual case. The case, that's the word. So that's what I mean when I'm saying this. And it's just crazy to think how it takes forever. It takes a long time to really find what works for you. Like, you think you go out and you buy whatever everybody else is talking about, but that might not be what's going to work best for you. So it's going to take a little while if you are getting into makeup to kind of find your perfect kit. The one that I have now, I will say, I think is like my kit, my forever kit, so I'm very excited about that. But pretty much when I started out, I'll show you actually on Instagram. I think I have a picture from, I would say 2013. So my first kit was this big silver chunky suitcase looking thing. I will never ever recommend a kit like this. Basically this kit was this big rolling case that was so heavy and so clunky and just terrible. And basically you kind of like, I think I actually posted a video back when I first got it, and this actually was a big deal. This kit was the start of everything. This was when I like kind of told my parents that I wanted to start doing people's makeup, and I actually asked for this kit for a holiday, like my birthday or Christmas or something, and I was so excited. I basically just put all of my personal makeup into this kit because who was I? I didn't have a makeup kit at that time. And so I was like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna put all my personal makeup in this kit. Like, I have a ton of makeup, why not put it into this box? I'm going way back into the depths of Instagram right now. December 1st, 2013. Birthday present from my family. They're the best. 4-wheel rolling makeup case found on eBay. Can't wait to start freelancing. Now this was actually right after I took my makeup certification course. So this was when it was getting serious. And this was the little video that I posted. So this is actually perfect. I'm so glad I posted this so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So this, I thought this was the most amazing thing in the world. I was so excited. I couldn't even contain myself. I was like organizing, putting all my stuff in there. I had been taking this makeup class, so I kind of had an idea of what I should get. As you can see, this thing was giant. It was basically like up to my hip, but you couldn't put it on a table. You had to basically leave it on the floor and keep bending over to get the things out of the compartments, or you had to take everything out and put it on a table, which just takes freaking forever and is really unorganized. So I ended up just having to leave everything in those little compartments that like came out to the sides, but I would have to bend over. Oh my god, my back hurt so bad using this thing. Like, I'll never recommend it to anybody. So I kind of got rid of that like pretty quick. I mean, I wasn't doing a ton of makeup back in 2013. I was very new, so I wasn't using that a ton anyways, but it sucked. And to carry that thing up the stairs, you just had to use that little handle. Oh, no. Don't ever do that to yourself. From there, I kind of changed things up a little bit. So I think my second kit was this like clear bag. I'm pretty sure it was from like Crown Brush or something like that. It was this big clear duffel bag. It was probably like this big. It had one big pocket in the middle with like 2 liners or something, and then the outside had these smaller pockets. There was probably 3 on each side and then 2 big ones on the end. And I thought this thing was amazing. It was a pretty good kit, I will say. It's nice because it had like the shoulder strap and the 2 handles. It was clear so you could see where everything was, but it was kind of hard to work with because yeah, you could put it on the table, but you're not really going to be working out of this bag. So you still kind of have to take things out of the bag, put them out on the table. It takes a while to set up. You have to organize, put everything back in the bag. And it was kind of, I don't know, it was just not the best, and it ended up really hurting my shoulder. It was just way too heavy. When I had that kit, that's when I really started doing makeup. I was going to Fashion Week. I was doing makeup for these fashion shows at a local college. I was going to like my friends' houses to do their makeup, so I was traveling a ton. I didn't have a studio. And I had first, like, this is when I first started doing weddings, things like that. So, you know, if you're a makeup artist, you know that when you first start, you're like, oh my god, I need every product ever in my kit right now. I need to make sure I have every color of everything. I didn't know what like depotting was. Everything was kind of just like in their individual packages that they came in, and there was no condensing, there was no depotting. I just carried everything in this duffel bag, and oh my god, it hurt so bad. I had to quit that. So after that, I transitioned to a little travel like carry-on suitcase. It was from Walmart. It was about like this tall, maybe, not very big. This was like a huge deal for me because I had to condense the shit out of my kit. I took a bunch of stuff out. I think what really did it for me was Fashion Week, realizing that that clear duffel bag was just way too much to carry around. It was so heavy. I needed something that rolled, something very easy to just unpack, pack up, small, so I had to force me to condense my kit. So I think the brand was American Tourister, and I do recommend doing something like that. It almost looks like that little Zuka, not like the big Zuka, it looks like the little Zuka artist rolling bag thing. I don't know what it's called. I've never had a Zuka kit. I will say a lot of makeup artists will go and buy their big Zuka kits. I've never done that. I've tried to make it work with other things, and I've made it work with other things, so I'm pretty proud of myself, and I'm gonna give myself a little pat on the back. I felt really creative about this kit, and I really liked it. Basically what I did, I'll show you a picture of how I like kind of set up my kit. So this was everything that was in the kit, and you can see that it's a little bit different from, well, you'll see in a little while that it's different from what I have now. So I had one of those like 3 drawer little plastic drawer compartments. That was kind of cool because I didn't have to worry about having like separate pouches for everything. I just kept like all of my eyeshadows and eyeliners in the first drawer, some blushes and bronzers in the second drawer. I don't remember exactly what was in there, but it was cool because I could just take that, put it in my kit, take it out and put it on the table, and it was ready. And then what was really cool was I actually took, you know those like mail holders that you get, or like paper sorters that have like 3 sections? You know what I'm talking about? You can kind of see it in the picture way back there. But what I did with that is I actually took all of my palettes, like all of my eyeshadow palettes, contour palettes, and I set them up in that little organizer. Everything had its place. That's what's really important. Having a makeup kit is like doing a puzzle every day. So you want to make sure that everything fits where it's supposed to fit. Nothing's going to be out of place. It was so condensed. I really, really loved that kit, if I'm being honest. But I love my current kit even more, so let's not worry about that. I had that kit for a while. Yeah, I probably had that for a few years. I changed the kit up a little bit because I got some Zuka pouches. So I switched from that little 3-drawer organizer thing to some Zuka pouches, which actually helped a lot. Kept me a little bit more organized. But you can see in the corner of this picture, that was my little kit. So nice and small, compact, easy to set up. I still had that little palette organizer, and I had my Zuka pouches and my Walmart organizer thing. So yeah, that was a good kit for me. This was my kit back 63 weeks ago. So I had my brush belt, I had that little organizer with my palettes, my Zuka pouches with all of my foundations. After a couple years of using that suitcase with my kit in there, we made our final kit find. So this kit I got on Amazon. It was recommended by a bunch of makeup artists in the industry that I follow and really love, so I figured I would really like it. I wanted to check it out. It wasn't too expensive. It was maybe like $50 or $60. But basically, I went from having this kit that I had to spend like a good 10-15 minutes just taking things out of. Having a kit that doesn't hurt your back is like one of the most important things to me. That is super important to me, to have a kit that I'm not having to like bend over and hurt my back all the time. It was almost exactly a year ago. 56 weeks ago was when I first posted on my stories about this new kit. And I don't know, I can look on my Amazon orders to see exactly when I ordered it, but basically I've had it for over a year now, and I don't think I'm ever going back. It took me 5 years to finally get to the point where I love my kit, and I'm not breaking my back trying to set it up. I'm not breaking my back traveling around with it. It's just really amazing, and it's efficient. I'm huge on efficiency. I want to do makeup as fast as I possibly can. I don't want to be wasting time searching for the product that I need. I want it to be right there. I don't even have to think about it. It's just gonna be there. I pick it up and I use it. So this kit does that for me. Alright, so I just want to show you guys what kit I have really quick. I'm gonna link it down below. It is on Amazon. It is the Relevel 3-layer multifunctional professional makeup train case, super large makeup bag organizer, blah 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 blah. It's an Amazon's choice. It has 4 stars. I have the extra large black version. This is very important. This comes in a ton of different sizes, different colors. So you want to make sure you get the extra large one that has 2 layers. It says 3 layers. I think that also means like the brush part. I don't really know. This one was $50. That's super cheap for a makeup kit. Like the Zuka bags and stuff like that can be hundreds of dollars. Even like just the suitcase that I had was probably $50 from Walmart. $50 is not a lot to spend on a good quality makeup kit. And this one is 100% good quality. It's lasted me over a year, and it's gonna last me forever. And even if it doesn't, like, for example, if I were to buy a Zuka kit, which is hundreds of dollars, and it crapped out on me, I'd be pretty pissed and I wouldn't want to buy another one. This kit, only $50. So really, if something happened to it and it kind of failed, I would probably buy another one, honestly, because they're only 50 bucks and it's so perfect. Yeah, this is the kit that I have. This is it on Amazon. Again, I'll link it down below. I highly recommend it. So that kit can either be worn on your shoulder, it can be worn as a backpack, or you can carry it by like the small handle. It also has a little strap on the back that can go over like a suitcase handle. And those are pretty much all the ways that it can be carried on its own. But what I actually do, my little trick, because it can get really heavy. Obviously, you're carrying hundreds of makeup products in this kit. It's gonna get pretty heavy, and it might not be good for your back or your arms or whatever to carry it the way it's meant to be carried. So what I've done is I actually went to Walmart and I got a carry-on suitcase. I made sure I checked the measurements on Amazon of my kit, and then I went to Walmart, found a suitcase that fits it perfectly. I'll show you that in a little while. But this just makes it so much easier to travel to weddings because it rolls. So that's it. I'm just a little bit more lazy and I don't want to hurt my back in the long run, so I have a rolling kit. It also helps because, like I'll show you in a little while, there are some things that don't actually fit into this kit that I have. So having the suitcase gives me that little bit of extra space to carry those things. I'll go over that again in a little while. But just wanted to show you what that kit was, where I got it, and where I got the suitcase. I have this rose gold suitcase, and the brand is iFly from Walmart. It's the smallest one, I believe. I have a ton of ways that I've made my kit more efficient, and I just want to go over those because I think for makeup artists, if you are a makeup artist now and you're just not loving your kit, or if you're looking to get into makeup and you want to just start efficiently, I think that's a great idea. So first of all, finding the right kit for you is going to make you more efficient. I think having everything out, easily accessible, labeled, we'll get into that, depotted and condensed, we'll get into that. I think just having everything visible is key. Anything that's kind of like hiding, anything that's like in a pouch or in a bag, or, you know, just not visible and easily accessible is not going to get used, first of all, because it's not going to be on your mind because you're not seeing it, and it's just going to be difficult for you. You're going to have a hard time going through your kit, doing somebody's makeup. You're going to be like sorting through your makeup kit while the client's just sitting there like waiting for you. So I think finding something that you can pinpoint exactly where everything is without a question is super important, and that's where I've kind of gotten my kit after 5 years. You know, it's taken me a long time, but hopefully it doesn't take you guys that long. I think that's where I'm at right now, and I love it. I have never been happier doing makeup. I used to dread just even unpacking my kit. Like before even doing makeup, I would dread unpacking my kit because I knew it was going to take forever. My back was going to hurt. I was going to have to put it away at the end. Like, well, I don't want to do that. So I think that's really important as far as efficiency goes, is having something that there's no questions. You know where everything is. It's right there, visible. Another way to have a very efficient kit is depotting and condensing. So this is huge to me. I have so many products in my kit that I have depotted, condensed, put into smaller containers, because then that way, not only are you getting rid of this heavy, bulky packaging, you're also giving yourself room for more products. And yeah, I mean, a condensed kit is good, but you still want to have everything you're going to possibly need, and having large bottles is going to limit you. So condensing and depotting is number one. So some of my favorite places to buy depotting, condensing things are both cosmetics, one with a Q, and Viewzette, and I think I gotten some things off of Amazon. What I did most recently, kind of right after I got this kit basically, because I realized I really needed to condense some of the larger products to fit into this kit. So I went on to cosmetics and I bought a ton of their little plastic tubes and spray bottles, and oh my god, they had the greatest stuff on there that really helped me to minimize everything. I still have all the products that I need, but they're just in smaller packages so I could fit more. So one of the things that I did was I had this like Skindinavia bridal setting spray, and I also had my MAC Fix Plus, which are both, this is a pretty, like, it doesn't seem bulky when you're just looking at it, but it's pretty bulky. I can't stand it up in the current kit that I have, so I would have to lay it down, which takes up more horizontal space. Just not good to have. So what I did is I went on cosmetics and I got these smaller clear spray bottles. I'm pretty sure, I'm gonna try to find all the links down below from when I ordered, so I don't know exactly what this is called right now, but I'll find the link for you. But I condensed this down to this. I don't need this entire spray bottle at once. Like, this obviously holds less product, but I keep this, which still has liquid in it, and I just refill this little bottle as needed. So that just makes so much more sense to me to have this smaller spray bottle. It works beautifully. It's a fine mist. Like, I love it. I think that is definitely key, is anything that needs to be sprayed, like any setting sprays, things like that, definitely condense into a smaller spray bottle and you will be all set. And then I also bought these little squeezy tubes. These are so tiny and adorable, but they actually hold a ton of product. So I have 4 of these in my kit right now. 3 of them are all liquid highlights, and then 1 of them is Makeup Forever smoothing primer. When I show you the actual kit, I'm going to go into detail on what all the products exactly are, but right now we're just talking about the condensing and depotting. So the Becca Moonstone highlight comes in a pretty bulky package. Like, these things, I don't know if they are tubes or bottles. There's something that's much bigger than this. This just makes so much more sense to me, having this little squeezy tube. The top just pops right open. You squeeze it out onto your palette. It's very straightforward, but look how freaking tiny this is. I can fit hundreds of these in my kit if I really wanted to, and they hold just as much product. I might have even been able to fit the whole tube. I don't remember. But if I didn't, then I just still have the rest of the product in the tube at home, and when this gets empty, I'll refill it. Next up, we have my MAC Face and Body foundations. Now, MAC Face and Body, actually, the bottles that they come in, I'm pretty sure they come in 2 sizes. Maybe like a 30 and then a 50 milliliter. Don't quote me on that, I'm not too sure. But while those bottles do fit in my kit, they are a little fat, and I'd rather be able to fit 6 than 4. So I went onto cosmetics and I bought smaller bottles that actually look exactly the same as the MAC Face and Body bottles. They're these little dropper bottles. And these are just a little bit smaller. I think maybe the 20 milliliters or something like that. I don't know. To me, it just makes sense to condense them into the smaller bottle so that I could fit more. And it looks, you know, exactly the same. Next up, we have one of my favorite depotting brands, I guess you can call it that. This brand is Viewzette. Now, what they do, they specialize in plastic containers that have little wells for all of your product. And they have a bunch of different ones. They're very small. It's right here in my hand. Look how small that is. When I first got this, I was like, oh my god, that's way too small. How am I gonna fit a lipstick in this tiny little well? These wells hold a full MAC lipstick. Like, perfectly. So don't worry about that if you are going to get these. I know I was like very surprised when I opened it in the mail. I totally thought I got the wrong thing, but nope, it's right. This little guy has, I believe, 24 wells in it, which means this holds 24 full-size lipsticks. Can you imagine carrying 24 individual lipsticks in your kit? Like, I did that for a while. When I had my old kits, I didn't know about Viewzette. That is just bonkers. Like, that would take up so much room in my kit. You have no idea. I have this whole 24 well one. I have another 24 well one, but it's not full. It probably has like maybe like 10 or 12 more lipsticks in it. So that's 36, right? Am I doing the math right? 36 lipsticks that if I didn't have these Musette palettes would be in my kit individually. I wouldn't have room. I wouldn't be able to carry all these lipsticks. So this is like basically a godsend. I am obsessed with these Musette palettes. I have 2 of these 24 well ones. I have another 12 well one. So it's like the same exact size here, but it has squares. It has 12 squares. And that's really good for like cream blushes. I'm getting another one. I want to try to put like my gel eyeliners and my MAC paint pots into one of those. So we'll see. These are just so amazing. I'm obsessed with these. Highly recommend getting yourself some Musette palettes. Do not carry individual lipsticks. Then we have these little Equate jars. This is a travel jar 2-pack. I think I got this at like CVS or Walgreens. I'm going to show you in a little while when I show you my kit, but this is where I have all of my little individual false lashes. I personally am a huge fan of the Sonia Rosselli individual lashes, but the package they come in is just not kit friendly to me. It's a little too big, so I throw them into this little jar. I have 2 of these, one for my short length, one for my medium length, and it is perfect. It works for me, condenses things so that I could fit more in my kit. And then finally, you definitely do not want to be carrying around individual blushes, individual eyeshadows, things like that. You need to condense them into magnetic palettes. I have 2 here. This one is my Z palette. It's the large one, and this is home to all of my blushes. I'll go into what the blushes are, but this holds 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 blushes in here from all different brands. They kind of range in size, but this fits them pretty well. I do have a little bit of wasted space, but what am I gonna do? It works for me. I'm happy with it. I like that it's nice and compact. It's very thin, fits in my kit perfectly. And then I also have this one from ColourPop. It was all a dream. It's just a magnetic palette that I got from ColourPop. And this is home to some of my eyeshadows. So I have some square shadows, some rectangle, just a bunch of different random sizes. I depotted some of these that were in a palette into here. The Cosette shadows come individually, so I just needed a magnetic palette to put them in anyways. But yeah, I think having magnetic palettes in your kit, one of the most important things you can have in there. I have a few like individual eyeshadows and individual highlights and stuff in my kit that I haven't depotted just because they seem a little soft, and I feel like if I try to depot them, they're just gonna break. So be aware of that. Only depot things that maybe have like a harder, consistent, like a harder powder that won't just like kind of crack and fall apart. I depotted some of my Tarte blushes that come in that little colorful circle. I pretty much just broke it apart, honestly, and like melted the bottom maybe. I don't remember, it was a while ago, but those were pretty easy to depot. I think you have to just like pop them out really easily. Highly recommend doing some depotting and condensing with your magnetic palettes as well. So that's pretty much it for the topic of depotting. I would say anything you can minimize, depot, condense, use less space, make things more efficient and easier for you, do it. Do your research. I would say one of my #1 resources is the Facebook group Glossable and Glossable Pro. I find so many product recommendations and condensing and brand, everything. I find a lot of stuff on Glossable. Just do a little search on like depotting in that group and you'll find a ton of posts about all of that. So once you've kind of depotted things, you're obviously not going to have some original packaging, so you're going to have to do some labeling. The label maker that I'm currently using is the Dymo Letra Tag. I got this at Walmart. It just prints, you know, white labels with black writing, and I try to label everything so that, once again, I'm not having to like pick and search through. Everything's just right there in front of me. So I'm going to show you what I've labeled. I pretty much labeled everything in my kit, so I'm just going to transfer you over to the kit and show you all that so I don't have to take it all out. Okay, you're getting a little sneak peek into the kit, but as you can see, right from first glance, everything is freaking labeled, or if it's not labeled, I already know what it is. And there's even some things in here that could be labeled that aren't right now, so yeah, labeling is a passion of mine, obviously. In this section, I probably should label the tops of these little squeezy tubes because I have 4 of them, and I do have to kind of pick through and find the one that I'm looking for. So I'm going to go and label those today, actually. I'm going to do it. Now, this label maker, I wouldn't say it's the best in the world. These haven't even been labeled for over a year, and they're already totally faded. If you look really close, you can see a slight remnant of the words MAC Fix Plus. I can see it with my eyes, so I haven't relabeled them yet because I don't like to waste. Yeah, you can see that they're pretty faded. I could still see them, so again, haven't relabeled. But those I labeled so that I know the difference between the Scandinavia one and the MAC one. Then all my Face Atelier foundations, they have the labels on the bottom, but that doesn't really work for me because I'm not storing them like this. They're just going to fall over everywhere. I have to store them right side up. So I put square little labels on the top of each one with the number of the color. That's helped me a ton. Also did the same thing with the MAC and Body foundations. I labeled the outsides. I was doing it that way for a while, but I was still having to like pick through and find the right one. So I used like the extra small label and I just put the number right on the top of that little nozzle. That helps a ton. Back here, I've labeled these two Viseart palettes because they look really similar. If they didn't have those labels on them, I would have to kind of pick through and figure out which one is which. I have one brow palette and one lip palette, so I just labeled them brows and lips. And then my Musette palettes with all my lipsticks, I've labeled nudes and darks. That helps me a ton. Same thing with these two Viseart palettes. They look the exact same if they're not labeled, so I labeled them with their names, neutral mattes and dark mattes. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Everything else has pretty unique packaging, so there's no need to label. Like, I know that this is my NARS palette. I know this is my Kat Von D palette. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this little peek into my career and into my makeup kit. This is really fun to film. Make sure you like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe and click the little bell if you want to be notified when I post. And comment down below if you have any questions. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.